Hello, and welcome to Manitoba Seniors Today. I'm your host, Lloyd Gwillem. Manitoba Seniors Today is my self-funded, no-profit venture dedicated to sharing senior issues, interests, and ideas via community access TV programming and social media. On today's episode, I visit a stained glass artist and a recent university graduate, spend a few minutes at the West St. Paul Curling Club, and conclude chatting about badminton. There's a lot to cover in this episode, so let's get started with stained glass artist Bill Younger. So Bill, what got you started in stained glass art?
Oh, interesting question. I think I had seen over the years stained glass in churches and thought that they were just extraordinary. And there was an opportunity to sign up for a stained glass class at Prairie Studio Glass. And I went, and at first I didn't really like it. I was nervous about breaking glass, and every time I went there was a cost. You have to buy this tool and you have to buy that tool. And so I wasn't really hooked. But ultimately what happened was I didn't finish a project and I had to sign up again. And the more I did, the more I liked it, the more I enjoyed it, and especially the finished product, I was very pleased with and excited. It was just exactly what I had imagined. And so that just kept me going and signing up for classes and making more things and making more pieces and sort of giving them away as gifts or putting them up in the windows of the house.
So I'll tell you, the focus of my program, it's called Manitoba Seniors Today. So the whole concept I had was, are there some things that are interesting to seniors, or are seniors doing different things these days? Are they doing some interesting things? And one of the reasons I picked you was because you actually went back to university after you retired, didn't you?
I did, yes.
And you took some courses in
fine arts. And I did that because I had started the degree before I was married, and took some courses and decided at that point that there's no way I could live on an artist's salary. Like, I'd have to die and then my art would become famous or something. So I went back to my science side, but it was always sort of in the background, as an unfinished thing in my life. And so as a senior, tuition for university and college courses are free. And so with having no cost, but just investing time, it made it financially feasible for me to go back and do the courses. And after retiring, I also was removed from the social interactions with young people, being at the college, filled with students. I was missing that interaction with young people. And then I needed to be around people that were creative, because I was finding my designs were stalling and I wasn't sort of being able to take them further than I wanted. So I wanted to take courses to improve my creativity. I wanted to learn from masters, and I wanted to be around young people, creative people, to inspire me in my projects. And so, I signed up and did the whole 4 years. So I did an honors degree, so I did a fourth year instead of just a 3-year program.
So which came first then? Was it the stained glass or the fine arts degree?
The stained glass came first.
So you've been doing that quite a while, or?
Yeah, and that is what guided my final year. When you do your honors degree, you're basically not taking courses anymore. You're full-time in a studio at the university. And so I wanted to just do stained glass, but I wanted professors who have their PhDs in fine arts to help guide me in my creativity. And it was sort of a mixed bag. Some profs didn't understand the process of stained glass, and so they didn't know how to guide me. Whereas some of the others that I had, in fact, I'll just mention Grace Nichols' name because she looked at my work and said, yeah, I can see that you can do stuff really nicely. You're competent, you're skilled at what you're doing. But what else can you do, Bill? And that's when I moved into, I can do different things. So I started doing sculptural, three-dimensional glass works instead of just the flat window type pieces.
Has the degree in fine arts helped you refine your stained glass artwork?
Yes, I think it has, because it's given me what I would call more research tools. So when I come up with an idea, it's not just Bill Younger, but I go onto the internet and I kind of see, look for images that would inspire me to create a design. And we had to do that regularly in the fine arts programs, is always doing research and always sort of searching out an artist that appeals to you and using some of their work as inspirations. So it definitely has done that.
What tends to inspire your artwork now?
Still nature is a big thing. The environment, I still am doing pieces that relate to the environment because I think they may not appeal to a buyer per se, but they sort of add to the collection of pieces that I've created around the environment and global warming. So that still resonates with me. Plants, forests, you know, I have done so many tree configurations, three-dimensional, two-dimensional. But I've started a new series, and I'm going back to my science side as a medical lab technologist, and I'm making large-scale, one-celled or multi-celled microorganisms. So I'm taking the microscopic creature and making it 100 times.
You're not going to do COVID, are you?
No, I don't think so.
It's probably the wrong technical name anyway, right? As an artist, do you do exhibits?
I do. I had my honors glassworks in an exhibit at a graffiti gallery, and I've had some sort of paintings and prints and stuff at the St. Norbert Arts Centre, just informally. But I do have a serious exhibition coming up at the Canadian Mennonite University in July of 2026. And I'll have all my glass works relating to the environment, plus my prints and my paintings and sculptural pieces will be there.
So do you have some advice for... I've got two things to ask you. One is for wannabe stained glass artists, but the other one is for continuing your education once you've retired. And that's kind of an interesting, I thought, for seniors, because we are Manitoba Seniors Today. Is there some thoughts about seniors taking education once they retire?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I mean, there are still areas that I'm interested in. One of them is language. I've been on a journey, that I started and stopped in taking French classes. But, with the revival of the Indigenous language, I think it would be fun to take Cree.
Oh, yeah.
And as a senior, as long as there is space available, you can register. So I think rather than sort of have someone who retires and then doesn't know what to do with their time, the whole world is there. They can just take a look at different courses and say, hey, for like 6 weeks, I can learn something new and it be fun. I'm going to meet new people. I'm going to be enriched and It's a win-win situation. I wouldn't suggest necessarily that they complete a 4-year degree, but doing fun things.
And about the stained glass?
And the stained glass?
That takes some tools, some time, some energy.
Yes, and you need space.
I noticed that today, yeah, so you're a little...
Yeah, I've seen, I follow a number of stained glass artists on Facebook and Instagram, and sort of looked at their studios, and they have, a space that has windows all around, and sort of,
like this room, you could set
like this room. I'd take it over. But yeah, it's an investment, definitely in the tools. Space is required, but also, you can end up, as you've seen, with lots of glass left over, and it's sort of like, what do you do with it once your project is finished? And I hate throwing it away, just especially, I completed a piece just for a wedding recently, and I used pink glass, and the sheet of it, which was probably 24, maybe by 24, was $130. And so, you're just taking pieces of it, and that's just one small part of the large piece. Yeah. And so it can be expensive. So it's not for every senior, but I just happen to be able to fit it into my financial situation.
Yeah, like we used to sell, we did crafts, we did that willow furniture.
Yeah.
And we did quite well, but one of the things that I didn't like was we could do this table, it was a 3-legged table, but they wanted mass production. And then that takes the whole artistic fun out of it. It becomes a job. And to me, it just took the whole fun out of it, because creativity is one thing, but when you're just trying to replicate something, it's...
Yeah, I think that, you've hit the nail on the head, actually. That's my issue is I wanted to do it part-time, and so sometimes I feel it's becoming more than part-time, and I took retirement to do fun things. Yeah. And as much as I enjoy it, sometimes it feels like work and a production. Like when you're making 20 Christmas trees, Christmas ornaments to sell at a craft center or craft sale, it's like, yeah.
For example, you showed me that golden boy downstairs.
Yes. That
That was probably fun.
Yeah.
It was just something creative. It looks like something fun to take the golden boy and put it in stained glass. And I believe you said it was the flood. So that was inspired by the 97 flood, maybe? Or
Well, actually, partly that, but there was so much flooding going on in BC.
Oh, okay.
And in some of the other, around the world, flooding just seems to be an impact of global warming. And I thought, glaciers are melting. We're soon not going to have glaciers. The oceans are rising. So let's just take this to the extreme. Let's have so much water that just the golden boy's head is above the water. And it turned out really nice.
That's a nice piece.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for this interview, Bill, and good work with your stained glass in the future.
Well, thank you very much, and hopefully it helps other seniors.
I do appreciate Bill taking the time to sit down with me. As promised, I made a brief stop at the West St. Paul Curling Club. I used to curl back there in the 90s. I gave up the sport a few years ago as I was concerned about falling as a senior. However, I was reading a 2018 study entitled Curling for Confidence by Dr. Rachel Stone, a professor at Queen's University in Toronto. She found that curling has many positive benefits for seniors. One being the social aspect, another being a healthy activity, but the surprise for me was fall prevention. I guess sliding around on ice for hours helps condition you to thus avoid falls. Let's hear what some seniors have to say about that. Henry and I used to curl together in the 90s in this building.
Yeah.
Okay, Henry, is curling safe?
As safe as the people that are playing it, yes. It's good. As long as you wear a gripper,
Well, I asked Alvin how you stay safe, and he's got a padded helmet, a padded hat, actually.
Yeah, there's them, and some people wear a helmet. Yeah.
Do I see any today?
Not today.
Not today. Yeah, since we're seniors curling, how do you make curling safe?
You wear a hat with padding in.
Yeah, a hat with. Is it got padding?
Yes, sir. Right there. Right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually has padding.
And you wear two grippers instead of one gripper
On your feet.
on your feet.
Yeah.
You walk while you're sweeping. Not. I gotta go.
Hey, thanks, Alvin. But it's good exercise and it's
Yes.
good social activity too,
Yes,
isn't it? Yeah.
yes. I very much enjoy it.
Would you recommend the sport to other seniors?
Yes, I would.
Well, there are
It-
some here today, aren't
Yes,
there?
there's a whole lot of it. This is Masters Curling. Yes, I would. It's a good way to get out to socialize, meet people, and a little exercise.
And what's your name?
Helen.
Helen. Okay, thanks, Helen. Much thanks to Henry, Alvin, and Helen for sharing a few thoughts on curling as seniors. Maybe I'll have to take the sport up again. Our final stop is at Prairie Badminton in Transcona, where I chat with Orlando Athayde and Rick Frost, two seniors very dedicated to the sport of badminton. So to give this program some context, how long have you two been retired, Orlando?
I've been retired for 12 and a half years.
And yourself, Rick? How long have you been retired?
I had a job for 6 years. I quit in May. So I guess I'm not sure if I'm retired, but I haven't worked for 6 months.
And the question I had for Orlando was that he had actually taken up badminton at age 10, and then in his bio I saw on Prairie Badminton, they said that you actually took a break to raise your family.
Yeah.
And then you came back later years. What brought you back to badminton?
Well, I've always wanted to keep playing the sport, but with family and the kids growing up and kids' activities, there never was time to play regularly. So I figured, well, now the kids are growing up, I can get back into the game.
Sounds good. So it's just was based on a family decision.
Family decision, yes.
And you probably played your whole life, or?
Basically, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Been playing a long time.
How many years?
Oh, well, it depends when I officially started, I guess. I had played at a church a little bit. In grade 10, a girl in my class was a Canadian champion. And I was on 7 school teams a year for sports. So she thought I was an athlete, invited me down to the Winnipeg Badminton Club and kicked my butt. And I always figure I could have reacted one of two ways. Either, what a dumb game if a girl can beat you, or I'm bigger and stronger than she is, and she whipped me. There must be more to this game than meets the eye. Clearly, that's how I reacted. I joined the Winnipeg Badminton Club the next day, and here I am.
Many, many years, right?
Yes, I was 15, so that was 67 years ago.
So how often do you guys play? Let's
52.
start with Orlando. How often do you play now?
I play 4 times a week at the minimum and 2 hours each day. So each time. So anyway, from 2 to 3 hours each time to play. And it's almost non-stop play.
Oh, wow. And yourself, Rick?
I coach 3 evenings a week in the Leisure Guide, and I'm president of a club that plays 2 nights a week. So I'm only doing badminton 5 nights a week.
Oh, that's not quite as bad, I guess.
Well, 2 years ago, I was at part of Orlando's group on a Sunday night, so I was doing badminton 6 nights a week.
Oh, wow.
I got to get a life.
Yeah.
So here it was an odd question, I thought, but is badminton a growing sport in Canada?
What sport?
Is it a growing sport in
I
Canada?
think it's growing. It is. It's a lot more visible now than it used to be. I think COVID had a big impact on the sport in terms of dropping the numbers down. And Winnipeg has changed dynamics because back in the 60s and 70s, we had 3 badminton clubs. The Winter Club, the Wildwood Club, and the Winnipeg Canoe Club. And they started dwindling one by one. Probably bad management, and then we were just down right now, only down to the Winter Club. And then in 2019, Prairie Badminton opened up as a dedicated badminton facility. This place, yes. The 2 young guys decided they want to pursue a lifelong dream of having their own badminton facility. And it's what you call warehouse badminton, because you get a warehouse and then convert it into badminton courts. And it's just the right height to meet the legal requirements for the game. And Winnipeg was one of the last major cities to get a facility like this.
Oh, wow.
Even Regina had one before Winnipeg of this size. So now recently in February, another place just opened up called C1DK Badminton, and they have 16 badminton courts, just badminton, nothing but badminton. So it's growing.
When you say just badminton, what's in this place?
You got badminton and you got 2 pickleball courts. So 10 badminton courts and 2 pickleball courts. And that was the pickleball was a more recent addition to keep up with the demand for the sport. Yeah, so it's pretty good. And since then, the game has been picking up, and even though new place opened up recently, people thought it would have an impact on prairie badminton's population, but it hasn't. People have shifted and moved. There's always room to grow. So the other place caters more to people of the south, and this one caters to the rest.
Well, that's one thing. When we came in here, you introduced me to one of the ladies behind the table, and you said something about a winner of something. So it is quite a huge following in Canada. There's leagues or
There's leagues, it's competitions. We've hosted national competitions in this facility itself a couple of times, and we have world-renowned players playing.
Oh, really?
Oh yes, yeah. So I mean, the national players are all international players, so we have good following.
Do you coach some of those players or different level?
I've coached a couple of Canadian champions. So.
And how was that?
Well, David Snyder, for example, when I coached him, what was he, about 10?
Oh,
He's now, has he finished, graduated medicine yet?
but think about that, Rick. You know, at age 10, it could have went either way. If they didn't like it, they might have left. If they liked it, you may have actually inspired him to continue on.
I did my best.
Yeah, yeah.
but he played anyway.
Yeah.
No, but the sport has its uniqueness as well, and some of the people in the sport, you'd be surprised what they do. When we played the Canadian Masters quite a few years ago, one of the ladies playing graduated from medicine with my daughter. I mean, she's now 40 plus, but she's playing the Canadian Masters. She was on Canada's Olympic team for badminton, and she's a doctor. So how do you have time for both? But they did manage to find a way to make it work.
So the point of my programming is something for seniors. Are there a lot of seniors in badminton?
In Winnipeg, not as many numbers, just because we have a smaller population. But when you get to the bigger communities, like say Toronto, Vancouver, Calgary, they have a large number of seniors, and a lot of them are extremely active in the sport. In fact, I know a guy who's probably Henry Painter from Vancouver. He is almost 80. He can whip me.
80.
He can whip me. He's the world champion.
Oh, wow.
And at that,
You've played him?
yes,
Really?
yeah, it was embarrassing.
At 80 years old. Yeah.
Well, I played him I got to think now. 8 years ago, I played him in Winnipeg.
Well, you were younger even then.
I was younger. I was 8 years younger then. I was 7 years younger.
Well, he's a little younger than I am because he's not in my age category at the Canadian Masters yet.
Just a little, yeah. So he's getting there. He's in his mid to high 70s already. And I mean, some of these seniors are so good. We'll challenge any of our 30 and 40-year-olds and have no problem beating them.
So we had talked about levels like behind me anyway, there's a pickleball court.
Right.
And you were saying the intensity, like it does, I never thought it was an intense sport. To be honest. I thought it was a relatively easy sport, but I know running around on the courts here can be hard on some of your bodies. But where does it rank up with the pickleball and other sports?
In terms of go ahead.
Yeah, go
Well,
ahead.
badminton, according to sports scientists, is the most punishing sport in the world for having to be
Oh,
physically
hang on, that
fit.
doesn't sell well if we're trying to get people into the sport. But carry on.
Well, I mean, you can play at a lower level. How I always describe it to people is anything else, tennis, squash, whatever, the object in play is allowed to bounce before you hit it. So that's not as quick. Badminton, you've got to go get the bird before it hits the floor.
Keep it up.
So it's harder work. And the other sports, most of their shots are like ground strokes down low. Badminton is just about all clears, which is harder on the shoulder, harder on the back, everything. And when you go up, it's like you take a breath, hit the shot, and take another breath because you sort of can't breathe while you're hitting an overhit.
So would that be like if you were competitive? If I wasn't as competitive, is it as strenuous on me?
Okay, anybody, there's different levels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start with you.
If you are healthy, you have no physical ailments like damaged body, there's no reason you cannot take up the sport at any age. Any age. You could be 80 and start playing badminton. Because like we said, you can play it at any level, skill level. You don't have to play at a professional level. You can, any level, somebody who's equal to you can play at that level. And you can keep it on the shuttle back and forth and get a good, decent workout. And movement as well. I've heard of people who started playing badminton in the 70s, and by the time they were 80, they were already like world champions.
Yeah.
They took it so seriously at that age. They took it seriously, and they started training for it, and they were able to do it. So the body can do it. It is. I'm still playing.
It is a good aerobic workout.
It is a good aerobic workout,
Absolutely.
and that's one of the reasons I love it.
So you guys aren't young and you still look very healthy, so it must be a good thing. I had you were doing some singles earlier there, but you weren't playing intently. Intense.
We were just sort of warming up.
Just that worked. But yeah, you were moving
You had to move, and you had to be able to hit the shuttle as well, and that hitting it comes from technique. Like I was able to hit the backhand from baseline to baseline. I couldn't do that before.
Yeah.
I didn't have the proper technique. Once I got the technique down, I was able to do it.
But coaching, most people start with the wrong grip. And if they've got the wrong grip, they're in trouble.
That's probably a good point. You just don't walk in and start swinging, right?
No.
There should be somebody that teaches some of the skills.
Yeah.
Do they do that here?
Yes.
Yeah.
The coach is right. I mean, people come and hold the racket to do this. You could hit the shuttle and do this.
Yeah.
That's kind of hard. No, it's enough. A little twist on the.
It's a skill to it.
Yeah, skill to it.
Which is an interesting thing. If you started late in life and you didn't take some of those coaching lessons, then you could, have some injuries just from using it.
Using it wrong, right? Oh, you don't play as hard.
Yeah.
You don't play as hard.
I tell people when I'm coaching that I think it's almost easier to take somebody who's never played badminton and teach them, because you can teach them the good habits. If they've already played, they've got bad habits. Now you have to break the bad habits and teach them the good habits. And if they've played, they struggle to take the good habits.
I mean, there is that saying you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but that's false.
Yeah.
Because for me right now, I've got the old tricks, but I also have the new tricks. Even you can see the crew behind us playing. I mean, they're playing hitting at the same intensity that we hit, but they're still having a good aerobic workout.
Yeah. And, there's probably a little bit more to it than just that. There's also the social aspect. Yes, there?
What?
Oh, yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
It is social. It's healthy. Social life is healthy.
Yeah.
You need that.
Thank you very much, Rick and Orlando, for being interviewed today.
Thank you. Let's promote badminton, anything to promote our sport.
Thank you, Lloyd. It's been our pleasure.
That's a wrap on this episode. If you'd like to contribute ideas for a program or just want to share some comments or feedback, feel free to visit my website at www.manitobaseniorstoday.com. There's a contact page there with a form where you can provide feedback or comments. Be sure to check back for future programs on TV and social media. Till next time, thanks for watching. I don't know how it started, but hello, Bill. Thank you for welcoming me into your. Hello, Bill. Thank you. Here at 431 Grassmere, yeah.